Welcome to the JAMODI podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. Coaches, we are all searching for ways to better evaluate players in order to give meaningful feedback. Over 15 years ago, I put together a test called the JAMODI Skill Rating. The JSR takes players through a series of tests involving basketball skill or athleticism, giving them one rating at the end. Their JSR rating will give you clarity on what needs to be discussed with players and parents on areas they need to focus on improving. I test our players at least 4 times each year. They're able to compete against each other, past players' scores, and most importantly, their past performances. If you'd like to start testing your athletes, email me at jamodipodcast@gmail.com for more information.
So you talked a little bit about your defensive guy. So style-wise, you're going from one school to the other. Does that style translate? Did you carry it over? What's your favorite style to teach?
Yeah, I mean, I hope it translates. We're certainly not going to change what we're doing. Like, I'm a defensive guy. It's just defense and rebounding has just become the only thing I care about at the end of the day. And it really,
Coach, you and I couldn't be more opposite then. It's fun that we get to have this talk, and I feel like we have a good relationship, but we are on exact opposite sides of that. But keep going.
No, I mean, and it's good because my assistant coach, like my lead assistant, he's a big offensive guy. Like, he likes
Nice.
offense, and like we've joked around about it because he says, and he means I'd rather win a game, 102 to 101 than 59 to 58, because hey, scoring's fun. Like, offense is more fun. Like, let's go do that. And for me, it honestly stems back to my first year as a head coach. We got just blasted by people. Like, we just got blown out, and I felt like we just got physically manhandled all the time. And I felt like we controlled no aspect of the game. Like, not only we scored it fine, like we scored it pretty well, but we couldn't rebound, we couldn't defend. We were physically outmatched every single game, it felt like. And it was almost that feeling of like, man, we control nothing. We control nothing.
It's a tough feeling.
That when we went into year 2, we completely flipped. Like, my first year, we were like kind of traditional pack line with some like hard hedging stuff and just really traditional in the gaps, like all that stuff. And we changed to a much more aggressive pressure of like, hey, if they're going to beat us, like, we're going to make them beat us from areas we are okay with them beating us from. And if they're going to beat us, like, let's make it just tough. And we didn't get that much better from my first year to my second year in terms of wins. But our like point differential and our statistics, we just got exponentially better. And we became the team that the last week of the season, we were knocked out of playoff contention. But the 2 teams that were playing us, I remember having conversations with both of them of just like, man, I hate that we have to play you guys last week because, like, I don't want any of my guys to get hurt before playoffs. And I was just like, yeah, right on. Like, good. Like, I'm glad that
That's right.
We've got something. And like, we weren't going to have, at my last school, like, we struggled to get a ton of talent. We weren't going to be the most talented group, but we were going to control what we could. And like, you can't control shots are going in all the time, but like, you can control if you defend and rebound. Like, that's a physical choice to make. And so I think it came down to like that first year, and then me being a little bit of a control freak, like all coaches are, of just like, hey, like, I can draw up a perfect play and I can't control if he makes the shot or not. But like, we can control if we've drilled it into their heads to be where they need to be defensively and be physical and recruit the right types of dudes to crash the offensive glass and stuff like that. So like, we still try to play fast, and offensively we still put a lot of time in offensively, but it's exponentially more that we work on our defense and stuff like that.
What do you think time-wise in a practice? What does that split look like?
Early in the season, it's like 80-20.
Wow.
Which is terrible. Like, it shouldn't be that much. Like, we need to work on offense.
It's not terrible.
We
It's not terrible.
We need to work on offense more. And last year, we had a lot of success. We couldn't score. Like, we couldn't score.
Yeah, but
we won a ton of games.
Coach, I'll push back on that just for a second. I'll push back on that. I think while you're doing that, the defensive work, I mean, there's an offensive team out there. Like they
Yeah.
have the ball in their hands. I mean, they are having to work against pretty incredible defense for a long period of time. But anyway, keep going.
No, you're right, and it's just I laugh about it because like we won a ton of games, like 50-50 or something like that, and we lost a ton of games, like 66-64. And I'm just like, fellas, we're a college basketball team. If we can't score 70, like
With a shot clock. We got a shot clock.
we can't score
Yeah.
70, fellas. Like, what are we doing? And then I go back and I look at the practice plans and I'm like, well, golly, like we did work on defense for an hour and
You
40
you
minutes
get
the
what
other
you
day.
emphasize a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a little give and take, but no, style wise, like we're gonna defend, we're gonna rebound. I mean, we were sixth in the country last year in offensive rebounds per game, and it's just
Wow.
like it's we emphasize it a ton, like defending and it's into how we recruit too. Like it starts there. And my assistant's doing an awesome job. My lead assistant, who's pretty much our recruiting coordinator, he knows like who to bring to me. Because the first question he's getting is like, well, who's he gonna guard? Like, is he gonna be able to do what we do? Like, is he tough enough? Can he switch onto the 5 in front and like, can he do that stuff? And if the answer is even like, well, maybe, like, I can't, like, we can't have him. Like, he's got to be able to do it. And so he's learned what we're looking for and stuff like that. But I like offense. Like, offense is cool. But yeah, I don't know, something about it. I'm all in on defense, rebounding, and we've had success with it. So hopefully we keep having success with it.
I think a superpower that you have is just knowing who you are and knowing what you like and what you want to coach and what you want to emphasize. I think anytime that you play a team and after that game, you're thinking, what were they trying to do? Like, what were they really about? What was their identity? I think if there isn't one or it's not clear, then that has to be go right back to the leader, the person in charge. So you definitely have that. I was thinking about I love the idea of forcing them. If they're going to score, it's going to be on our terms. And Mark Cassio in his no middle pressure defense talked about we want them to score in our time at our spots and then with the shots that we want. So like our time, our spots, our shots. And I thought that really simplified it for me. We want them to shoot quick in the possession or try to score quick. We want it to be in the outer thirds, and then we want it to be that mid-range or contested jump shot. But what are some of those, if you don't mind sharing, some of those goals that you have in your defensive possessions?
No, ours are consistent. So I mean, what we do is pretty much like a hybrid of what Baylor did when they won the national championship and then what
Yeah.
Houston kind of still does with the kind of up on the line a little bit and just taking options away from people. So
Yeah.
we're not hard, no middle, like siding the ball, only because I found that either we didn't have good enough athletes to do it or I didn't teach it well enough. But if just those snaking the ball back into the middle, we really struggled. So we try to almost we're no middle, but not quite that extreme until you get kind of below the break. Like if you get below the break, then we can kind of really side the ball. But other than that, like we just try to be like no middle without it being too extreme, kind of on that outside, like top shoulder. And then we try to funnel the ball into that lower third. And we've just got some designated like landmarks for our guys of when it passes this point, we're going to go trap it. And like kind of like no middle, except for when the ball gets picked up, we don't leave. Like we want to maintain the trap and almost make people skip it and one more it. And it was all based on so when I was an assistant, Travis Carruthers was my head coach at Ozarks actually. And I remember we were about to play Mary Hardin Baylor. And Mary Hardin Baylor ran some extreme no middle stuff because like Cliff Carroll was there, and I know he was with Bobby Knight and stuff like that. So they ran some real hardcore no middle. And I remember my boss at the time was frustrated because he was like, "It's just simple, man. All you gotta do is like drive it and then kick one more wide open threes." And all it is like they're just betting that we can't do that enough to beat them. And I remember, can we do it enough to beat them? He's like, well, probably not. And I was just like, well, I mean, shoot, man, that's a good bet. And like, so we started looking into a little bit more of the no middle stuff. And then Baylor had so much success with like their no middle, but switching a lot and stuff like that. So we kind of molded it together to kind of figure out what we wanted to do with it. But so that's what we do is we trap and then we try to scramble on the backside and force another pass. Like always just force them to make another pass. Just keep making them make another pass and eventually it'll find a non-shooter or and also just speeding guys up. Like we got a ton of turnovers the last 2 years on like step outs, like guys stepping out of bounds, guys traveling, because in theory it's super easy. Like you pick it up, you got 2 on you, skip it, 1 more. But when you're trying to do that and you got big athletes in your face with active hands, and then you've got another guy trying to scramble on the backside and get a steal, and then you've got another guy scrambling back, like let's make them do that stuff. Because when you draw it up on a board and you look at it, it's like, well, shoot, that guy in the wing is wide open. It's like, yeah, he is. But like they have to make the pass, and they have to make the pass on time, on target, and they got to make the shot.
It's probably outside of their offensive framework. If they're continuity based and they're not used to playing out of an advantage where you get dominoes going and that ball is just we all know what the rules are and where each other's going to be. You're getting them to do something that maybe they don't spend. Think about your 80-20. Well, if your 20% isn't spent on out of an advantage moving it reads and making the ball continue to work, that's foreign. And so you get to put them in that spot. I love that.
Yeah, and the big thing for me is trying to tell guys that we're okay with it. Like letting them know. Like I gave a presentation to our guys on our defense, and there's a lot of clips where I'm clapping before the shot goes off from the other team, because if it goes in, like we're fine with it. Like they did
Yep.
a great job. They drove it. They pivoted. They kick 1 more. We made them drive it again. Kick 1 more wide open 3. Good for them. That's good basketball. Like good stuff. They they
Let's go.
cannot do
Yeah.
that for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And if they
Yeah.
can, they deserve to beat us. Like, good for them. But it was also just trying to make people abandon their script. Like, I don't want people
Yeah.
scoring how they want to. Like, if they're gonna go and make a play, great. But like, that's where the switching kind of comes in. Like, we switch 1 through 5 pretty much exclusively with everything we do, and it's to be aggressive and try to make people not run what they want to run, and then off the ball switching up and denying pretty much everything.
I love all those concepts. Defensively, even though I am an offensive guy, I think that's kind of how we want to play. That you know what I just kind of made an, a note of is the no middle. The thing that sucks about it is when the ball gets in the middle, and I say that because I liked your idea of we want to be high, but not too high. I think the moment, and this is bad teaching on my part, the moment that we got the ball in the outer third, and sometimes offenses do that for us. They're more than willing just to dribble it down outside of that middle third, the lane line, and move even outside the volleyball line if you have those lines. And so, but once we get there, I thought we were getting too high and almost on their hip to where there's just a straight line between that ball handler and there. And when your goalie has to guard it not in the outer third, but in the middle third, man, your rotations and what you like your trigger and what you know is going to be next, it's kind of out the window. I got to figure out a better way to keep it on the side and no middle, but not allow like not get too high where it's straight line and we're behind.
Yeah, it's hard. It's tough. Like it's hard, and it's like we try to talk to our guys about like, hey, we give you the advantage because we know that we're pushing it down towards the baseline. So your positioning is not letting it go middle, which means that you can almost load up to them driving baseline and keep the ball out of the middle third by just running with it. Because you know you don't have to guard the middle because your foot angles are taking the middle away. But it's a learned response. Like they got to work on it a ton, and even then, it's not perfect. And I think the nature of it is because you're basically inviting rotations. Like you're okay with going into rotations, and with that, it's just going to be hectic and it's not going to be perfect. So you have to like almost talk to guys about, hey, it's not going to be perfect all the time. There's going to be some weird formation that they end up getting in, and we got to fly around. But the harder you work, the luckier you get. Like, you gotta fly around on the backside and just try to make some plays.
That nugget right there, the harder you work, the luckier you get. That's good.
Yeah, you gotta fly around. Like, that's our biggest thing is, like, it's not gonna be perfect, but like the great effort will erase our mistakes. Like you have to fly around. And me, I've struggled with that
Go
accepting.
ahead.
I've struggled with just accepting like I want to stop it. Like, hey, you were supposed to take here, you were supposed to take there. And you can do that and then also tell them, hey, but like great stuff. Great work.
Yeah. And it's hard too, I think, as a coach of some possessions, there's not a right or wrong answer to it. There's possibilities where, like, either one of you could have done that. I just need one of you to commit and take it, and then we'll rotate and move off of it. But like, I found myself a few times them asking questions of like, "Well, coach, who should have taken that?" Man, guys, I think they're both pretty good. I think maybe you're a little bit closer, but this or that. But I think kind of like for you, or like you said, with being okay with them moving it and sometimes getting that shot that it could be harder. I think me not having answers to everything because it's unscripted on that backside. It's them just busting it and trying to, like you said, make the ball keep moving, take away open sevens or open jump shots for us. I like that. Not sure if what I said just made sense.
No, it made sense. I ran into the same thing of, well, whose is that? Who do you want to take that? I want one of our guys to take it. Somebody take it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, coach.
Or like
Yeah.
in our colored jersey, go fly at the ball. And what we talk about is we try to reward it because we'll have it early in the season. It will happen. It happens every year, once or twice. Two guys will fly at the same guy. And I like to clip it and just like, hey, that's awesome. Like, that's great stuff.
Wow.
Like that
Okay.
is great
Yeah.
stuff. Hey, we got two dudes who want to stop that ball. Like I love it. Same thing if they're just kind of stand and watch because they assume the other guy, it's like I'll freak out about that. Of just like also neither one of you guys want to play defense. That's where we're at. Like, so it's almost just emphasizing like, hey, if I at least just fly in that direction, coach is gonna be cool with it. Like, so just trying to emphasize like the ball gets skipped, you need to fly in the direction of help, and then hopefully you'll be able to be a basketball player and see like, okay, he's there, I'll push or whatever it may be. But the only wrong answer is to like watch. Like you got to go, like go do something. And it'll happen early in the season. We'll try to praise it. But then the thing that we'll kind of get onto the most is just like what are you doing? Like it's 5 against the ball. Like we try to avoid saying like you're on your own. Like I know a lot of guys say that in like ball screen coverage. Like, hey, no, you're by yourself. It's like we try to never say it, and it's silly, but we try to never say it because no, he's not. It's 5 against the ball at all times. It's a team defense. So like if you're not moving, like it's not team defense anymore.
Ball's in the outer third and offensive player in the corner. Are you all out deny or are you opened up right there? Like one pass away, what are you doing?
We take the corner away at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that like same side drive. What I would say like a
So no
strong
sucker
side drive.
help, no joust, stay, make sure he doesn't get
If
a
it's a
catch.
complete non-shooter, we'll talk about like you can show a little and get back.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just believe that statistically that one pass away, pitch and catch three is such a,
Burns me up.
if you look at
Yeah.
the points per possession, like that is just such a high efficiency shot that we actually try to tell our guys, hey, not only are we taking that away, we're taking it away and we're handsy when we do it because teams will they'll still try to throw it because it's such a good look and people work on it so much.
Driving kick.
We'll get
Yeah, that's
steals
it. Yeah.
by just staying. And it's the same thing for us if the ball does go middle. Like if somebody closes out incorrectly and the ball gets driven middle and it turns into like they cross the midline, those guys who just got put on the strong side now, we're sticking. Like we stick. We're not giving up what we call spray threes. Like we're not giving those up. What's going to happen is that guy who just didn't do his job and got beat middle, you better turn and sprint and get back in front. And now you're playing one-on-one. Get to the rim, reach for the lights, try to make them finish over you, and we'll take that over a spray three to the corner.
One of the most unique things I saw last year with one of our district rivals was because everybody that's open from three is allowed to shoot it, and we shoot a pretty high volume. And so for the first time, I noticed that when we're getting to the world or the paint, no one's helping. They're all staying. And we didn't have a lot of just Like if the ball gets to the nail, baseline guy back cut. We just didn't have that because typically when the ball gets that deep, help comes. Good defenses say you got to help, and so that's when we move it or spray it, and they were just staying. And you know what? And so I told the guys, when you Brunson, you got to go score. Help's not coming. There's that. The advantage is you one-on-one, and we couldn't do it. They beat us by not helping at all. The second time we played, we had one of our better playmakers, a big guy that can handle it, move it, score 37 on them, and we didn't hit a three the whole game, but we won by in a different way. But I like that idea that what that other team did to us is we know that they want to drive, pull a guy in, and kick for a shot or a one more. We're just not going to help. And that was completely unique, but it made me think, like, I want to disrupt that way too.
For me, it's all numbers driven in terms of if you push the ball towards the short corner, like no middle, and you trap it there, or even if you don't trap it there, that is a tough spot to pass from because your options are pretty far away. The backboard, the rim, it's all in your way. Like it's just a tough angle to pass from. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna bring help and we're gonna trap and we're gonna overemphasize our advantage there. However, if you drive the ball middle, that's a great place to pass from. You can see everything, like it's an easy passing angle. So same thing, it's a drive, but we're not bringing help because we don't have an advantage. When they drive baseline, same thing, it's a drive, but we have an advantage in a defensive mindset. When they drive middle, like we don't have the advantage. So stick and let's turn this into a one-on-one game. Let's make them take like a 0.8 point per possession, like tough two in comparison to like a 1.2 point per possession catch and shoot three.
It does get downhill towards the middle, and goalie or somebody that your backside comes up to help on it. Do you peel switch off and find another guy, or hope just to slow him down? Defensive player gets back in front.
We haven't gotten to the point where I want to peel switch that, only because it kind of bleeds into the rest of our rotations of guys wanting to peel
Okay.
out and switch it. For us, like the help would come from exactly where you said, and then we just try to put the other guy in kind of a goalie stance, looking at the ball and trying to make a play on the ball. When we first started to run the defense, the way we do it, I thought cutters would really hurt us. But what we found was in the positions that cutters would normally hurt us, if they cut, they're cutting to just bodies. Like they're cutting into just like, well, the ball,
Those other two on the
yeah,
backside are just really tight and close.
yeah, like the ball is
Yeah.
there, and then we got two on the ball, then we got a guy who dropped to take away the big or something like that. And it's like you're cutting just to nothing. And
Yeah.
most teams, they'd rather try to space out shooters for that
Yeah.
skip and one more. And it's like, all right, make
Yeah.
the skip because again, it just goes into the little things. Like we're not going to let you make a perfect pass out of that double. It's going to have to be a lob. And then we've got time to recover and all that stuff. But I was really nervous about cutters and stuff like that in a situation like that. It hasn't hurt us as much as I thought it would. It still does, but not as much.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.